Hi, so we're going to mix the salt dough, and I have a bowl. So you need a bowl and a spoon, and we're going to use 2 cups or 2 measures of flour for every 1 measure of salt. It doesn't really matter, you can use a proper measuring jug, or you can use a little cup or a glass. As long as you use 2 of flour and 1 of salt, you're good. First of all, we're going to put in the salt. So I have 2 different kinds of salt here. You see this kind of salt, even though it says table salt, it's not quite as fine as this salt. This salt is better. They're both called table salt, but it's nice and fine, and that means you get a better kind of dough. So I'm going to use as much of this as I can. Oh, kind of comes up in the air there. A little explosion when you pour it out, huh? Come on, salt, come out of that pack. It's nearly all gone. Oh, I can taste salt now. It's like going to the beach. Okay. Woo! Okay, so we're putting the salt in the bowl. There you go. Now it was about 2/3 full, so I'm going to fill up the cup the same amount with flour, and I'm going to do that 2 times. So there's 1. And if it's not quite the same, it doesn't matter too much. It's not a souffle, it's salt dough. That was a little bit too much. Okay, lovely. Okay, so now they're both in the bowl. I'm going to mix them up with my wooden spoon, just to make sure they're all mixed. The salt is whiter than the flour. The flour is a little more creamy looking. You can mix it up with your hands too. It's nice to stick your hands into things. My little dog always wants to eat the salt dough, but don't let the dogs eat the salt dough. It's too salty, it's not healthy. Okay, that's nice and mixed up now. Can you see that? It's got a nice consistency. So now we're going to put in the water. And you don't need quite as much water as you use salt. So I'm just going to use like 2/3 of a cup. If you use a cup of salt, you should have about 2/3 of a cup of water. But you can kind of start to stir it in slowly. And then if you need more, just put in a little bit more. See that? I'm going to need more because that's not enough. Put in a little bits at the end. But if it gets too wet, you can just throw in a bit more flour. Don't worry about it. Oops. Now we're nearly there. See the way it's all starting to stick together now? That's kind of what you want it to look like. And now what I'm going to do is put it together with my hands. Then your hands get very dry feeling. You can have an extra little bit of flour just to stick it together if you need to. See the way it's all sticking together? If you're a really good cook and you're used to baking bread or making pastry, you'll be used to how this is supposed to look. But if it's too wet, like if it's all sticking to your fingers, just get another bit of flour. And if it's all falling apart and it doesn't stick together at all, get another little bit of water and just keep playing with it until it feels right. Now, so we're going to colour the salt dough now, so we can make things like this little rainbow. That all the different colours in the rainbow are made from coils of clay that were made different colours. Or this fish here is made from clay that was dyed a green colour. You can hang it up. Ooh! So we're going to divide up the clay and make some different colours. First I'm going to put on some gloves, or else my hands are all funny colours for a few days. So yeah, I have the dog here helping me with this. The one thing is that she cannot have the salt dough. She kind of thinks it'd be nice, but it wouldn't really be nice. So I got the lump of salt dough. I'm going to make little balls of it for different colours, and you want to make 7 colours, but you don't have to make all the colours, because of course you can mix some colours, can't you? You can mix red and yellow and make orange, and you can mix green. You can make green by mixing blue and yellow, and you can make purple by mixing red and blue. So let's make 3 colours and see if we can get it. I might make a purple one because I have some really nice purple paint. Use some bowls to mix it in. And I'm going to turn this down now so you can see it getting mixed up there. Oh, look at the dog looking at her. She's thinking she'd like that. So I'll start off with yellow food colouring. So you can use food colouring or you can use paint. The food colouring does get all over your hands, doesn't it? Okay, but it's nice to make a mess. Mix it all through. Ugh, what a mess. Just keep squashing it down and folding it over, squashing it down and folding it over, squash it down, fold it over like that, squash it down, and fold it over, squash it down and fold it over, squash it down. You can turn it around, and then the colour is going through the whole thing. So that's going to be our yellow. So we've got our yellow done there. We'll roll it back into a ball, and then we'll put another ball in, and we'll make this one blue. So I'm going to put a hole in the middle to pour it into, a little dent, not a hole completely through. Whoop. Okay, I probably put in more than I needed. This is where it all gets nice and messy. So fold it over, fold it over. It's like a little dance for Salto. Hey, what do you think, Mia? We're going to make a rainbow. Yay! See, it's still kind of got marbly bits in it. Which, depending on what you're making, you might like it to look marbly. But I'm going to mix it a bit more for the rainbow. You can decide how much colour you want, or if you want marbly colours. Blech. This one's pretty good now. So we've got blue and we've got yellow. And next I'm going to try one using paint. Got some nice purple paint here. But if you don't have purple paint, and if you have food colouring, you can use blue food colouring and red food colouring and make purple. Seems to work the same. I've tried cooking it before. And then when your pieces come out of the oven, they're so, oh look, see. Blah. How messy is that, huh? Don't stick your nose in that, Mia. It can be really messy. Okay, I'm kind of really glad I put gloves on me now. You see, this is getting a little too wet, so I'm actually going to get a little extra bit of flour to help it get back to the right consistency. So if the paint makes your salt dough too wet, just put in an extra little bit of flour. Okay, I'm getting my rainbow colours up. Okay, so now I have 3 different colours done. There you go. There's 3 colours, and just going to try and make some more now. I have to take off the gloves. They're gone very messy. Okay, so I went and washed my gloves there. The dog abandoned the project, and now we're going to make some red. But first of all, before we do that, we are going to make green by mixing a bit of the blue and a bit of the yellow. So we're going to take a bit of this and a bit of this, little lump. Okay, and when we mix them up, they should become green. So we'll just see if that's going to work. Again, you kind of squash it down and fold it over. My hands are getting sticky already, so I just put some flour on them there. Oh, I think it is turning green. Like magic. Like rainbows. Dog is mad because she loves making movies. She's down here wagging her tail at me. Now, okay. The only thing about the rainbow is you need kind of 2 purples or 2 blues or something at the end, don't you? So now we have yellow and green and blue. We have 3 colours. And we have our purple over here. So we're going to put that with it. And now we'll line them up there so you can see them. And now we're going to put the red in here. Got some red food colouring. There you go. Any kind will do. Made a little hole in the middle with my finger, and then put the colour into it like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Press it over. When my hands start to get too sticky, just dip them in a little bit of flour. Dog's getting fed up. Problem is the dog wants to eat the salt up. Yeah. So here we've got red. And to make orange, which is the only colour we're missing, we can mix red with yellow. Okay, we're getting a rainbow here. It's the wrong way around though. Yellow, green, blue, purple, red. Oh no, it's red, yellow. I can't remember. I have to look it up again. We need to put the orange in there anyway. Okay, oh, that's it. We just need the other purple and the orange. Yay! Now, some people don't like touching messy things. And if you don't like touching messy things, I'm going to show you a way that you can mix up your colours. So here we have red. It's a bit red, but I want to make it a little more red. So we're going to make a hole in it, which if you don't want to touch it, you could just put some little indentations in there with a fork. Don't make them go down all the way, just part of the way. Then get your food colouring or your paint and put a drop in there. Whoop. Put the lid back on because it spills a lot. Okay. And then get this fork, look, lovely plastic fork, and just pick it up and mash it over. Just mash it. Keep squashing it. Then you don't have to touch it. You don't want to. Especially when it's all mushy. Some people love that feeling. Some people don't like it. So you just keep pressing it with the fork until it's kind of a flat little pancake again. Then fold it over. Do it again. And pretty soon the colour will start to change, the colour of the salt dough. So that's the way you can do it if you don't want to touch the stuff. If it's just too messy for you, you don't like the mess being on your hands. Now it's mixed up. We'll get it out. Dip it in a tiny bit of flour. And it's done.